Ready?
Yep.
Okay. This is the I Know Nothing podcast. This is our first ever attempt at having a college athlete on, or actually having anybody with me. So this is going to be awesome. This is Abby. She
Hi.
is going to explain who she is briefly. She's a local athlete. Abby has been working with us. She is an intern for the PT side of things, but she also trains with our summer college group right now. So I've got to know her for a couple weeks, but the cool part of this is I actually don't know her that well. I think she's a great person. It's awesome been knowing her for a couple weeks, but this is kind of our first convo going over some things that she's done as an athlete and seen at the college level. So, Abby, give us your elevator pitch.
All right. I'm Abby Ray. I went to Saratoga for high school and played basketball there. And then I now go to UAlbany and I'm on the basketball team there as well. And yeah, I'm here working out and working because I potentially might want to be a physical therapist, but that's still up in the air a little bit.
Hopefully these guys can inspire you here.
Yes.
So Abby's probably going to be super humble on this podcast. So I'll just give you some cool things. I've only known her for a couple weeks. She's the fastest girl in our 10-yard sprint currently. Still holds it. She's a phenomenal mover, phenomenal athlete. So it's been cool to see, like, okay, this is what an actual Division I athlete looks like. But the first time she entered our group, the very first day, she brought tremendous amount of energy. And I was like, cool, she's already here doing an internship. Let's do a podcast. So that's kind of the reason I wanted to have her on, because her and I have had starting to have conversations about her growing up as an athlete, as a basketball player, what she's seen at the college level. And that's why we're kind of having this convo to start. So first thing we're going to start with is let's take us through your youth. When did you start playing like competitive travel basketball?
Probably in middle school, I joined a team, like a AAU type, like travel team, kind of, with my friends that I've grown up like. Now they're like still my best friends in college, but like I was probably 5th grade, 6th grade when I started really like joining tournaments, having a team that I practiced like 2 or 3 times a week at, and that's when I really started to like take basketball a little bit more seriously.
So 5th and 6th grade, that was not a Saratoga like.
That was like, it was Saratoga. It was called Saratoga Sparks. I don't think it's a thing anymore.
All right.
But it was my AAU team.
But you were traveling. Like you were going to tournaments in 5th and 6th grade.
Yes. That was just
you're 11 years old, 12?
I was like 12 years old, yeah.
Okay. So 12 years old, you're already doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was pretty young.
So it seems like that started out like fun with your friends.
Yeah, it was fun.
When did it take the next level up?
I would say going into high school, like 8th grade, 9th grade was when it was really like, okay, this is something that like I need to take seriously. And I think all my friends were kind of the same way. Like we were like, okay, we're really like, we're the best people on our middle school team.
Right,
we're the best people, like, we're winning all these tournaments. We might have a chance of like making varsity, making JV as like 8th grade freshmen. So we were all just kind of like taking it a little bit more seriously, and all my friends were the same way. I had a lot of people that had the same like competitiveness as me.
So your friends were your teammates?
Oh yeah, my friends were my teammates.
That doesn't always happen.
Inseparable.
Abby. That's pretty cool. Okay. So you're in this next level up of. Are you on the same team at this point, or are you on? You're still on the Saratoga Sparks AAU team.
No, now it changed to City Rocks.
Okay, so I remember City Rocks. Okay,
yes.
So it's at City Rocks. So at that point, City Rocks becomes serious. You're traveling not just to like.
No, we're traveling. Around here. We're traveling to tournaments all around.
Where's all around? Like the entire United States?
No, like East Coast. So like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Long Island, like all around. And then like the big ones: Chicago, Indy. Where else? Where'd we go? Kentucky.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It was pretty serious.
When you're so. I know a little bit about the AAU schedule now, just working with, but that AAU schedule kind of starts after the high school season ends.
Yeah.
And that runs through the summer, or how does that work?
Yeah, it usually starts like right after high school ends, and we go up at like June, July, August was when it like happened back then. But now it's they have like shorter seasons, shorter tournament schedules, like coaches can't see them, but they still play. But back then it was like we played all summer long.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I guess probably some teams have changed.
Yeah.
Probably not all.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Alongside of that, did you play other sports?
I did. I played soccer, and I played competitive travel soccer too. So like every
Okay, see,
weekend that it wasn't
I didn't
basketball.
know this. This is why I'm asking this. Okay, so you played year-round soccer
Yeah.
and year-round basketball.
Yes. And it was like I'm not talking like I played soccer for fun. It was like, okay, I have to eventually I had to pick soccer or basketball. Which one do I have to want to play in college?
Okay.
So it was like I was on a travel team for soccer called the Alley Cats,
Oh, yeah.
Albany Alley Cats.
Oh, we all love the Alley Cats around
yeah.
here. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was on that team up until I think I was like 17, I think junior year of high school, and that's when I picked basketball, which I was like I want to be more serious in basketball, and that's where I see my future. So I ended up stepping away from soccer, which was kind of sad, but
Okay, it is an interesting point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole right now, but you're a Division I basketball player, and you waited until you were 17 to make that decision,
Yeah.
and you were still playing soccer. Because,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you've seen this with some of your younger teammates. What we are seeing is people are choosing, I'm a single sport athlete in ninth grade. Whether maybe that's the world that we're living in, but
Right.
again, you're just a great case of just seeing how athletic you are now and watching you. I'm like, okay, no duh, you played soccer or another sport, because like that's what usually good athletes do. So it's pretty cool that you waited until you were 17.
Yeah. I was fortunate though. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
my parents were like, just do what as long as we can work it out, like do it for as long as you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm astonished that you were able to play those two sports, because
Yeah.
those are the two of the sports I'm seeing. That's the
Longest
craziness
season.
right now.
Longest seasons.
year round, just knowing the travel programs.
Yeah.
That's wild. Let's stay into the youth right now. So
Sure.
you told me you started training in high school.
Yes.
Run me through that real quick. Like, what were you doing? What movements were you doing? You know, how did that work with
Okay.
with your schedule?
Right. So sophomore year of high school, it was actually one of my friends on varsity basketball who went to this gym in Saratoga, and she just like really loved it. She thought it was great. She thought she like saw herself getting better and being stronger, and she invited a couple of us, and she was like, I really think this could like bump our whole high school, because it was high school, and she was like, this could make
Whoa.
our high school team go up to like the next level, like we could win. And so she invited a couple of us, and I just started lifting. Like we did like some Olympic lifts, mostly just like body weight movement, a lot of like just jumping. Like we were jumping and
Okay.
sprinting a bunch.
Like
And,
plyometric jumping?
Like plyometric jumping,
okay.
I would
Cool.
say.
Cool.
So that was cool. And it was just like, it was more of an environment where it was just like, okay, we're having fun, but like we're also getting stronger. It was
love
more about
that.
like the fun vibe. But right as I started lifting, I immediately was like hooked. I was like, I love this. Like this is so much fun. I see myself getting stronger.
You enjoyed it? Okay, but you felt it. You felt the transfer
Oh, yeah.
immediately. Okay,
Right away.
cool.
I loved it. I would just like hang out with my friends. Obviously, that was like the best part about it. But
Right.
I was like, I immediately saw myself getting stronger. I was like, I was really skinny. I was scrawny, and
Okay.
which
All
is
right.
weird because now whenever
Yeah.
I show people pictures, they're like, "That's not you. Like you
Wow.
look so little." And I just like loved it, and I went almost every day, like four days a week after school.
You're playing two sports year round.
Yeah.
And you're lifting. Were you lifting year round? I mean,
It
give or
was,
take with tournaments here
like,
and there.
It was like when we were in season for basketball, like no, we wouldn't go as much, but like out of season for basketball, we were going like after school for like an hour every day.
Okay.
And then during the summer, it was like when we could make it.
And you've carried that lifting, obviously
yeah.
lifting college, but like you haven't since sophomore year. You've just been lifting.
Yeah, I haven't really taken like a super long period of break.
Okay. So you've been training now for essentially, what, almost 8 years, 8 years?
7-8 years.
Cool. All right. That's awesome. It helps my case as a strength coach.
Yeah,
See?
sure.
Work out. Okay. The message of this podcast is, like we were talking about before this, it's to coaches, but it's also to parents and athletes who I don't think they understand really what it takes to get to your level, but what it even takes to get to the collegiate level. And it sounds like you had a really good experience with your travel programs. That's not always the case. Let's fast forward to college. You're going into your senior year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going into your senior year. What are some things that you've seen? Let's just talk specifically at the college women's basketball level of all of it, the lifting, how your teammates come and go.
Yeah.
Just shed some light on it, because I don't think people are realizing how fast things are changing at the college level.
I feel like coming in freshman year, I was just like, I was so excited to just be part of like a college team. I was like, this is the dream. This is
Hold
the
on.
dream.
What happened during COVID?
Oh, okay. So
Tell that story. She
Okay,
just
so-
told me this story, so we need to hit this.
junior, senior year, like in between is where COVID hit. So everything got shut down, like recruiting. We couldn't go to tournaments. We couldn't like see coaches. We couldn't talk to coaches. It was just like done. So all the offers and all the looks that I had before just kind of like started slowly disappearing because people were committing at like, they were like, oh, we don't know if we're going to be able to see you again. Like commit. So yeah, spots were like diminishing. And I really wanted to go to Albany, and the coach still really wanted me, but she didn't have a scholarship. So she said, she gave me the chance of coming as being a preferred walk-on. She said, like work your ass off, basically. So I came there freshman year, and after freshman year summer, she like had a meeting with me and all the coaches, and was like you're special, but she was like, you're special. Like you work your ass off. You're like exactly the type of player that we want, just like being in our program. So she gave me 4-year scholarship right after summer session.
Work hard, everybody.
Yeah.
It's just an awesome story because there's probably maybe people out there like that, but that's just sometimes a little bit of luck, but you had to prove yourself.
Yes.
Let's take that now. Now you've had to prove yourself. You had to work to get to a scholarship. You had to work to be at this level, and to stay at this level and compete at it. Let's go back to that question of what have you seen? Like, what have you seen with athletes coming and going? What have you seen at the college level? Kind of all of that right now.
I feel like coming in freshman year, it was like me and my freshman that I came in with, like we were just excited to be there. We were excited to like work hard. We knew the expectations right away. It was like everyone just kind of like set the standard, and you just had to like perform to it.
I like that.
Which is cool. And it was like, it made it like my freshman year was like the best experience I've had so far, just because it was like coming in, everyone was on the same page, everyone was bought in, everyone worked their asses off like every day. And actually that ended up working out because we won the championship and we made it to the NCAA tournament my freshman year. Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, cool.
So we beat Maine. We won the America East, which was really cool. And we got to the tournament, and we played Louisville, which is when Haley Van Lith was on that team, and Emily Angsler, and now they're elite. They're different. That's a whole different like style of play. But yeah, so that was my freshman year. That was amazing. We only had one person transfer out, and that was one of my freshmen because she was too far away from home. That was a totally different story. I feel like, But then sophomore year, it was kind of like, it was different because this was when all the transfer portal stuff was kind of like being introduced. Because it was right after COVID.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, we still had the same team. Everyone was still very bought in. We had new freshmen. And then we didn't end up doing as well. We still did super well. Very, very great season. We just ended up not winning the championship, which like, that's crazy that I'm like, my freshman year, I come in and I'm like, we won the championship. Let's do it every single time. Like, that's how I felt.
That is the mentality.
And that's how everyone felt. And it's like, when you don't win, you're like, damn. But like, really, you had such a good season.
Yeah.
But then that's when a bunch of people did start transferring out, and we just had a brand new team, and it was like, wow, like we have so many different pieces to kind of bring together now. It made it a little bit harder to bond.
Of course.
And just like to meet everyone on the team, and like it was just different. It was a lot different than coming in my freshman year and like knowing the expectations. Everyone else knows each other, and now it's like it's my sophomore and it's my junior year, and it's like all these different people that I've never met, but I've been in this program for 3 years already.
Yeah. And you were saying to me, since your freshman year, how many girls are left from that year?
From my freshman year, it's me, one of my teammates who came in with me as a freshman, and then one girl who was a year older than us. So there's 3 of us total.
Okay.
On the team since my freshman year.
Yeah, and again, I know you're living it, but I still don't think the people who are not in collegiate sports right now realize that this is happening. And my message, without going down a rabbit hole and taking it away right now, is like, you just said when you walked onto UAlbany's campus, there was a set standard.
Yeah.
There was this culture, there was this camaraderie, and look what happens. You win a championship. It was just the way it was. Not that your style or even your team's style has changed, but the game has changed. It's a business. We're seeing that with not just obviously basketball. We're seeing it with every single kid who's in here. We have multiple kids in the transfer portal right now. So it's just something, again, it's just education for you guys to understand, like, go learn about this. Go talk to the Abbies of the world and hear about whatever sports you're in. Go talk to the players and see what they're going through, because it's a lot. Okay. You got anything else on that? Like, just like in terms of, okay, it's now it's in your senior year. There's 3 of you left, right? So like, does that mean there's a huge new class coming in? Is everyone even on the team already, or what?
I think there's 5 freshmen and 5 transfers coming in, around that, and then we have 4 returners since or 5 returners since last year. So total, we have 14 girls, and I think we have like 5 total returners or something like that. So we have 9. Like we're outnumbered now,
right? Gotcha.
Which is different. That's different than it has been. So that's going to be a little tough, but I also feel like my mentality, and definitely like my teammates' mentality that were on our team last year, like still hasn't changed. It's just like, I feel like the new challenge for this whole situation is like having 1 year, having 1 season to like get everyone bought in.
Right.
Because it's like you're outranked. I mean, you're out like numbered. There's more of you that haven't been there than has. So it's like you kind of have to like bring them along in the way that that your coach is, and that like you want to do things this year.
I'd be very curious to hear after the season your strategy, like going forward now, like the strategy that you as leaders have with your coaches, and like how you do it. Because obviously in all sports, we're seeing teams rise together. Everyone's going through the same thing. So I'd be curious to then pick your brain again after the season, like what you guys are doing. Okay. We're trying to cap this, by the way. We're trying to cap this and do this in 30 minutes. So we're doing good.
Yeah.
Couple things I like personally wanted to ask you, because even though you're laying it out that you did the training, now at your point in your career, why are you training? Like, what are you doing? And you can add in basketball too, but like, obviously this is a strength podcast. So like, why are you training, and what are you doing right now?
I feel like the goal right now for my senior year is like, I know that I'm strong, and I know that I'm fast, and I know that like, I set myself up for honestly like as much success as I could have. But I feel like now it's more about like, what can I do to like make my senior year like the best I could possibly do? Like, what can I do to be faster? What can I do to like we kind of talked about it earlier about jumping and anything like that. Imagine like I get my vertical up maybe like half an inch, and that's like 2 more rebounds that I could like deflect or get out of people's hands, or like get for my team. And I feel like that's one of the main goals for my year is like, what can I do to like improve like this much, just so it like helps my team that much more.
Yeah, I think there's obviously levels to this, and if you're listening to this right now and you're even in college, you haven't followed this path, you may or may not be there. Like, Abby's been training since she was in 10th grade in high school. Moving the needle this far is even harder now, right? Like to get, like we were talking about, like the first day she came in here, she ran the fastest time ever. We've been around that time the whole time, but we haven't dropped that much. Like for someone who's strong and fast already, to get faster, it's tough. And that's when the training does matter. What has worked for you? Okay, you generalize it in the beginning. It's like, okay, I started going to the gym and bang, I was like strong. Specifically to the weight room, have you seen anything in particular that's like, okay, I do this exercise and I feel this on the court? Or has it been a mixture of things, a mixture of exercises?
I feel like personally it's been a mixture of exercises. Like, I can't remember one specific thing where I'm doing where it's like, this is going up. I feel like that's directly correlating to basketball. But I just feel like in general, like me getting stronger, especially in my legs and especially like a lower body, like if you ask anyone like on my team, like I can jump the highest on my team. And I think that's just a thing that like kind of correlated to me like lifting heavier and like not even heavier, but like being able to lift more weight or being able to do more things.
The thing I'm hearing from you, and it's a message I'm trying to get across, is there's no one back squat. There's no one specialty movement. There's no one I clean so now I can dunk. This is a consistent work ethic that you've had in the weight room, and like, okay, messing with different exercises, having different strength coaches, and piecing it together to make sure it's working for you. I'm going to go into something that we did just because we had talked about it, where when Abby first came in, again, she's interning here, so she had her own packet. The way I typically deal with the college athlete is like, I'm not going to walk in and be like, no, you can't do this. Doesn't make any sense. She's at a Division I program. What we did was we took the stuff that she's been doing, and I looked at it and I said, okay, what works best for you? I think we wrote it out here. I was like, what's your favorite 2 heavy lower body ones? What's your favorite 2 upper body? And what's your program that is required from you? And one of the ones we talked about was cleans.
Yeah.
Now, everybody who's listening who like says that cleans is the answer, don't get mad. I clean. I love to hang. Like I love cleaning. But she said to me, I really don't like cleaning.
It's
And
not my favorite.
But the way she said it was like she was scared to tell the strength coach, like, I don't like to clean. I'm like, great. She has to clean in college because it's something they have to do. So like, even though her clean technique is phenomenal, we used the clean and then we did something different where we actually jump with weights and we're just working on some vertical stuff, hopefully to move that needle like we're talking about. So again, it's not the one specific thing. My whole point in the matter is what you're hearing from her, who's done it, who's still doing it, is it's the consistency over time that has continually helped her on the court. Right? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. 12:55. We said we're going to do
battery too.
Battery's about to go. I want to get 2 things first. If this dies, it dies. It's all good. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, it seems like you've had a really good, successful career, good community. It seems like you've been around good cultures since middle school, really. Yeah. What hasn't worked for you?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So like weight room wise, basketball wise, to sport wise, is there anything that you think like wasn't working for you?
I don't know if I can answer that like directly without maybe thinking about it a little bit, but I would say like one thing that I really struggled with in general, like basketball wise, was just like keeping my confidence up. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people do, like struggle with, just kind of like staying confident when like you make a mistake, or not even when you make a mistake, you have a bad game, you have a bad play, you have a bad day in general. Just kind of like keeping yourself motivated, I feel like has been a constant struggle, or like keeping yourself like out of your own head, because sometimes you're your own worst enemy. And I feel like I've been learning that. Like that's a biggest thing I've learned in college is like you just have to. You kind of have to get over it.
Okay, but you're saying you kind of got over it. But how did you learn that?
I feel like I have a really good support system at my school, and I have a really good support system in all the things that I do. Like I have great trainers, I have great friends around me, I have great teammates, great leaders.
Okay.
But I feel like that's the biggest thing, that just like people are there to help you in general, in my life at least. I don't know about other people, but like you just have to use them as much as you can, and then work at it every day, because I kind of talked to someone about this too. Like everything is practice. Like you have to practice it every single day, and if you don't, then it's like you can't just expect it to like be better one day. You have to do these things over and over again to see a little bit of difference. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that I worked on that wasn't directly basketball.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And again, it's like for me, as a strength coach, as much as I want to be on the floor and I want to be helping out with teams and stuff like that, we don't get that option.
Yeah.
What you're saying is it's the environment and the system that was around you and all these things in middle school and high school and in college.
Yeah.
And I think, that's how we utilize the weight room. You've got to see like where the college group is flowing in here and there's a lot of energy, right? It's like that's the environment where you can, even though some of the other athletes in here, you don't know some of them, but you're always chatting with someone, learning someone. That environment, like I'm trying to take the college environment, we try to put it into the weight room, and I'm sure you see that at the college weight room as well. But that's what the environment is the big deal. If you weren't around a good environment, maybe you didn't gain confidence, and maybe you're just like, I got no one to talk to. So it is cool, and it's important for people to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, battery's gonna die for sure. 2 minutes. We'll end it with this.
Okay.
You're speaking right now to a whole entire basketball camp, okay? This is Saratoga Sparks restarted, and it's the whole camp, right?
Oh,
and you're going to give them three lessons or 3 pieces of advice that you learned now or whatever, but what do you tell them? You get 3 things to say.
Okay. All right. The first one I would say is surround yourself with competitive people, because I feel like that was something that helped me a lot. I surround myself with I have the most competitive friends, and I feel like that just helped me like astronomically like increase basketball, lifting, like every point of my life. It was like having competitive friends, having people who like want to make you better and like make themselves better. That just helped me so much. So I would say that, be competitive, be as competitive as you can. Second, I would say that like don't worry too much about the confidence piece about it. Just worry about like having fun early on and just remembering why you play your sport or why you do what you do, because that's super important. Like just remembering why you like this sport, why you like to do this thing, that'll lead you so much further than, playing well or playing bad. And third, I don't know if I have a third right now. I don't know. That's a
You
hard
don't
one.
need a third. Two is good.
2 is good.
This is your senior year.
Yep.
You're at UAlbany.
Yes.
Those who are listening, if you know Abby, awesome. If not, tune in. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Thanks for being the first ever college athlete. Nice job. We did it. 30 minutes.
That was good.
This is the I Know Nothing podcast. Nice job.